Yes, this is, and this is. So, do we read our biography written by the mind every day? How many times mentally and verbally or emotionally, we think, oh, this I should not have done, and still I have done it? How many times you did not do what we are supposed to do? We think of it. A thought passes by, oh, I should not have said this. I should not. Oh, I have a lot of challenges. A single thought supported by a feeling, it grows like a sapling. And the next day it says, I'm fully busy, I'm not interested, it is all craziness. Oh, that guy is crazy. I'm just trying to make you understand. So, some unwanted thought enters into the mind, and in a days or in hours, it grows into a sapling. And the next day, or maybe the next day after that, what happens? It causes a trigger in the mind, and ultimately we drop the path of the East and West. Our behavior, our attitude changed because the same thought repeats itself. We go back to the same state where we started the journey. I'm developing a topic which we will take up the Gita. These are the introductory books that I have been covering until now. But when we cover the Gita, it is very thoughtful, it is very contemplative. The main message that every day we write something. The mind writes about our life. I don't like this, I like this. So, what is the remedy? Do you remember the conventional methods? If we forget the conventional method, the mind will blame you again and again. Mind will cause not only one, but hundreds of issues it will bring up in your life. And then we say nothing happens. Obviously, nothing will happen. I have done enough. I'm not attending the lesson. I have a lot of challenges. Now, see, we are just understanding what exactly is this self inquiry. So, when we are inquiring into those unwanted, unwelcome thoughts, they take control of me, and ultimately, the thought creates a desire. Desire converts into an action, and these actions comes due to the sins. That is what the religion talks about. This we are just doing a self inquiry. And what is the problem? I discussed in last two sessions. Can you recall? I gave a reality status to the world of name and the form outside. The moment you give a reality status, then this mind is going to make you crazy. Are you getting it? This is the way we have to do this self inquiry. This is what the Gita is talking about. So Gita starts at a very higher level. Those who are seekers, they can get. So, have I given a reality status to the world outside? World of people, of relationship, of things. This guy whom I'm talking about, he pays $10,000 or more than 20 to after the divorce. He has reached to a state of higher level of humility. He said, now I can realize what you were talking about couple of years, and I have wasted 4 years. He was saying I gave reality status to the world outside. That is the reason I divorced. Are you getting it? The divorce is more more prominent. Otherwise, we give a reality status to the word. The moment you give a reality status to the word, your mind says it is separate from me, and then you start searching the peace and happiness there and the harmony over there, which is not available. And from where it has come, it comes from a single thought, a feeling. So when I'm very careful, living consciously throughout the day, not to give a reality status to the world outside. This is the one example of the self-inquiry. Anything happens in the world, any experience that I get, any thought that passes into the mind and it stays, it forms a particular action, it is going to cause you the suffering. And the problem, or I would say the challenge is, my friends, that the moment you have accepted a reality status, you will go back to the square one. You have to restart the journey. That is why the master says, I have to become a seeker. When I am a seeker, I can recognize, I can accept, and I can throw that thought and a feeling pertaining to the event and relations outside. What happens in your daily life? Say you meet a friend and now you are gossiping and something he said, it strikes, it hits your mind. You have given a reality status. Then you go back home. And I am not going to talk to that guy. Finished. And after a few weeks, you realize that friend is going to help you, but now you cannot say. You have already reacted. Are you getting it? So this is the journey of the self-inquiry. And that is what, we are started coming. So we have been talking both likes and dislikes expressed by the mind. What about the mind? That is why we purify the mind. Can I be only happy when I like? No, I can be happy when I dislike someone. What we have taken last week, last session, self-inquiry is very important. Self-inquiry is the best method to remove the ignorance. And once the ignorance is removed, we find the real self. Don't forget that, we are given a gift of the real self by the existence wrapped in 3 layers. How do you still remember? It is wrapped in 3 layers. Outermost layer is the impurity. Second layer is the superimposition, and third layer is the ignorance. So self-inquiry works at the deepest level, the third layer. But unless we remove the first 2 layers, we cannot reach to the third layer. And the impurity starts with the thought, with the feeling, with emotions. A single thought in favor or against. Favor causes the likes, against causes the dislike. So I have to look into that like and dislike in this self inquiry. Why? That we have done in the last two sessions. What happens? This is what how the sorrow and the joy takes over my life. So the master is explaining the first I wake up in the morning, I become aware of the world. The mind in ignorance gives this world a reality status. The moment I give it a reality status, mind says this world is separate from me. Then it reality status separate from me. Reality status means peace and happiness are outside. So I have to search peace and happiness outside. You see that? But the peace and happiness is not outside. So what happens? What happens? What happens now? You see the first superimposition. I have a false notion giving a reality status, even at home. There's honey is the cause of my happiness. I have given honey a reality status. Honey is a label. It can happen anywhere, anytime, any moment in your life. So once I have given a reality status, the first superimposition is this. Second superimposition, it is separate from me. Third is that it contains the peace and happiness. Now I make an effort. So when I realize my effort sometimes succeeds, so I find it is the cause of my happiness. But sometimes I don't find it is a cause of the sorrow. Another beautiful superimposition, because I give a reality status, it gives me a kind of a thrill and a feeling. That is why, I discard and reject people. Are you excited? No. Why should I be excited? Why? Are you a subject to be excited? There is no reason. I'm calm. I'm relaxed. I'm always excited because I give a reality status to the world. That is what we have discovered. So what happens once I experience the sorrow and the joy? Because I have given a reality status. At times I find I'm happy with you, and at other times I find that I'm unhappy with you. So the joy and the sorrow, and the joy and sorrow lives in the ignorant mind because it has come from the world. Now ask yourself, if the joy comes from you, then I like you. If the sorrow comes from you, I dislike you. So what happened? Likes and dislikes have taken birth in the mind. And that conditions my life so heavily. It doesn't leave us until the death. Until the death. Likes and dislikes. So this master says likes and dislikes takes birth in the mind due to the joy and the sorrow in the mind. And once that happens, once that takes place in the mind, we continue to be on our toes. We continue to make effort. Once that happens, if I read exactly the verse, then once that happens in vain, one is prompted by them to One is prompted by them to pursue or withdraw from the objects of the world, and we forget why it is happening. What we say, I hate you, so I don't talk to you. Now I have to self inquire why I hate, from where the hatred has taken place. So when we do not inquire at such a deeper level, then we live with the hate and love, sorrow and the joy. We had many friends and we left them. They have become our enemies. We liked so many food and we left them. Now see, it is because of likes and dislikes. Think. You have a branded new clothes that you purchase, but now you dislike, so you left them. So you wasted your money. No. I liked at that point, so why? How can you say I wasted money? Think. Let us go a little deeper into this. Like how likes and dislike takes birth in the mind because of joy and the sorrow. I derive from the object, a situation, a person in the world outside. But why I get that joy and sorrow from the world? Because I have given a reality status. Who gave it? Mind. Which mind? Ignorant mind. Now we are understanding self-inquiry is the best method. How it is the best method? You need not to do any practice, but through you remove the ignorance and you find you are there. From where the joy and sorrow enter into the mind, giving the world as a reality status. What does it mean by reality status? What is the definition of real? It is unchanging, it is permanent, it is all pervading. As a label, a name in the form, am I all pervading? No. As an individual, I'm not all pervading. As a real self, I'm all pervading. Their two eyes are working. Why I gave a reality status to the world outside? It means I superimpose a notion, just an idea, a notion that the world is real. The world is constantly in flux. It is constantly changing. Why I give a reality status? Because of ignorance. Not knowing what is real and what is false. Now the ignorant mind is at work. So ignorant mind is at work, gives second delusion. It gives a delusion status to the world. What is that delusion status? Good and bad. Say, for example, if I say you are bad, how come you are bad? The same existence, the same five elements composes both of us. That we don't think. It's a non-thinking. Non-thinking means I just accept the notion. So those three layers, I said, when someone sends a gift and possibly they cover it with the three layers. The wrapping outside is so glittering that we find everything is there. So say if you don't open the wrapping, then what? You don't know what the gift is. The existence has gifted us the real self. The innermost layer is the ignorance. Second layer is the superimposition. Third layer is the impurities of the mind. I have to start purifying the impurities first. Then only I can open the second layer. You cannot open the second layer without unwrapping the first layer. The approach that we have to apply in our mind. The thought causes the joy and sorrow. It comes out of the wrong notion. Can I use my intellect to ask myself, let me go deeper and find out what is the reality status? We don't do it. We get carried away. We are dictated by the emotional dependence, and that emotional dependence causes the suffering, and the suffering causes the delusion. I will talk about it. This is a part of the Gita, RSM syndrome, I say. Attachment and detachment syndrome, follows by the suffering, follows by the delusion. These three diseases present in the mind causes the impurities, prevents me to recognize the real self, and that a single thought can enter into your mind. Single thought. Oh, no, he has been teaching unnecessarily. So I know I have realized everything. So what is the fun? So, I'm not saying for the sake of myself, but I'm saying that what is going on in your mind? So once that superimposition takes place, then what happens? I choose the joy and the sorrow in my life. When? Today. Yesterday, yes. Day before yesterday, yes. Last week, yes. Last year, yes. How many years? I've been living like this. I've been living like this. Buddha says this world is suffering that I have created for myself. Let me make you understand in a totally in a different way. How many desires you have every day? I have not counted. It means I am a desire. I'm made up of desire. I was talking to this guy whom I mentioned when he restarted the journey. 8 billion people we have on the Earth planets, approximately. Just take a normal figure. Every person has 1,000 desire. What comes out to be total? 8 trillion, Sam? Every 8 trillion. We are not 8 billion people living. We are 8 trillion people living on the earth. That is why we have sorrow, happiness, crime, violence, reaction, long list. Are you getting it? I'm making it very simple arithmetic. Because, and these desires are prompted by the likes and dislikes, aims at joy and the sorrow, and we are not sure whether we will be happy or unhappy. Are you sure? I'm planning to marry. Marry, but don't secure happiness there. Happiness is within you. Express that happiness from you to live a happy married life. We forget it. What I said, simple arithmetic, 8 billion people. If every human being has 1,000 desires, it is very little. So we have 8 trillion people living on the earth because desire has to clash. So fact is that we are not living. Our desire is living our life. From a small act to the so-called the biggest act. You wake up in the morning, you say it's a bad morning. Done. Finished. At least one day you pass with a bad morning. And that is going to repeat itself. So the same mind with the likes and dislikes, expectation of the joy and sorrow, giving the world a reality status. I live my life every day. I go to the workplace. Ah, this guy is crazy. Finished. It has nothing to do with moral and ethical discipline. It has to do with self inquiry. I clear myself from all the dirt. It's a mental dirt by contemplation and reflection. And this likes and dislikes create a bondage. Any like and dislike are interpretation by the mind that causes happiness and sorrow. I don't have money. Don't you exist? Come on. Do you have the money for food? Yes, I have it. I don't think in that way. First 2 years, I did a crazy stuff when I was here. I'll tell you. Not today, but later on. I have no shyness. We have to think that is the journey of the self-inquiry. The entire Gita is the journey of the self-inquiry. The moment you do it, your mind gets rid of the joy and the sorrow, dropping the reality status, dropping dislikes and dislikes. What is the state of the mind? It's a non-verbal. What is that non-verbal state? It is a choiceless awareness. It is an emptiness of the mind. It is ultimately, the master says, likes and dislikes are the primary means by which we get bound to the world. Bondage, limitedness. So what happens in limitedness? Anger, hesitation, duality, conflict. All the 3,000 mental diseases explained by modern psychology. So my interpretation of life and life experiences as a joyful and sorrowful is the cause of my likes and dislikes. In the beginning, you join the session because of likes and dislikes, but as you become the seeker, likes and dislikes goes away. Why it goes away? Now you give the reality status to the real self only. Now something is left, something I'm missing. I have to get that. What is that principle? And that gives you the intensity, the intense desire to find the real self. You cannot leave it. Ashok, I was talking about. Ashok joined after 20 years. So we teach from the same teachings. So it is not that Ashok returned to me. If I say return to me, it is the commander in chief based on the likes and dislikes, Joy and sorrow. No, it has nothing to do with me. So we are always free. You come, welcome. You don't come, welcome. But don't create a situation so that your ego says, now I will not join you. Don't do that. Jerry knows a couple of people have done it before. I have written to them, but they feel shy. Are you getting? So this is the journey of the self-inquiry. Master said, get out of my monastery. I said, okay. I went out of the monastery and I lied down just outside the main gate. And he was so full of love and compassion early in the morning at 3. He said, no, he is not going there anywhere. Bring him inside. Are you, you can say, are you, not I would say obsessed, Do you have that intensity? No, I have to find the real self in order to live it. So, understanding last point that I want to, once we have likes and dislikes, what is the greatest ignorance that we do? Write it down in your mind, write down somewhere. So once I told you joy and the sorrow, how the joy and sorrow come because of the superimposition. That superimposition comes because I feel the world is different and separate from me, because I give the world a reality status, superimposition, joy and the sorrow. But why? What the joy and sorrow gives rise to? Likes and dislikes. That much even is okay. Majority of the people glorify dislikes and dislikes. Those people cannot become a seeker. Forget about it. They will join, they will leave. They will rejoin, they will leave. We glorify with our intellect this likes and dislikes that has taken birth in my mind. Extreme dislike is hatred. Extreme like is soulmate. I can say. And extreme dislike is soulmate. You can put the same criteria to anything that you like. Even shaving yourself, I can tell you. Even putting a lot of cosmetics on yourself has a content of likes and dislikes. We are not saying don't do it. Do everything that purifies the mind. How many times you pay attention to my beard? None. You are more in pain. Your attention is more on what I am talking. It goes through your eyes. You see that here on no, uncultured. So last point is very important. And what is that very important? That we glorify likes and dislikes. We glorify our preferences. We glorify joy and the sorrow. Means we are indirectly glorifying this world, which is constantly changing in flux. That causes lot of challenges in our life. It is not that I have money, I don't have it. I can tell you frankly. Understand that part. Close your eyes. Let us start our journey. Eyes are closed and you are comfortable. So we are learning to be comfortable at a very finer level, through the level of the self inquiry. First, your mind says, oh, this is being comfortable is my nature. I'm not trying to impose on my body. That is a reality status. You are aware of the entire body. You feel the sensation, comfort, and steadiness. Oh, that is good. Now you go into being carefree. You all remember, perhaps, I hope so, that you remember being carefree and pick up that is very popular. Lane 1, lane 2, lane 3. Does that make a sense to you? You instantly become aware. This lane 1, lane 2, lane 3 awareness takes place simultaneously. That is the another meaning of being carefree. Unwanted, unwelcome thoughts. Now you know it is caused by Initially, I used to say, oh, let the thought come and go. No, I want to know why they come. Why they come. How they come. Now you have an answer. Your mind repeats the same thoughts like a pre recorded CD in a different color because we glorified it. We glorified it. That is what is. That is what is unwanted thoughts and will. Now you know little deeper because you have that knowledge, you have that awareness. They do not stay even for a second. That is the meaning of let the thought come and go. I believe you all got it. Everyone says, I also use the same phrase. Other teachers also use the same phrase, but there is a big difference. So what happens? Let them come and go comes through the awareness in the lane two, which I have been saying it is the intellect, it is the knowledge, you are an observer. Now see how simple it is. Someone beautifully said that we do not participate in the lane one. Beautiful. But now we have gone beyond that. Internal, we know what lies inside this unwanted, unwelcome thoughts. What happens? Next moment you're calm. That calmness does not belong to the likes and dislikes. That calmness does not belong to the joy and the sorrow. You can check it, you can examine it. That is the next part of the journey. And then we continue with our journey. I'm going to change the practice, but I'm already changing the practice every session. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Sarvesham swastir bhavatu. Let there be happiness for all. This guy who gave me the words in my mouth, he further said the happiness is all pervading. That is why we are using this mantra. He said also we are using this mantra to get rid of the reality status to the world. And I shift that reality status to the real self. This guy who returned to me after 3 and 4 years, I was so happy. I said, I love you and I appreciate you. It comes because of the self inquiry. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Let there be peace for all. Now, can you give that interpretation? My friends, I can tell you, even if you think in this way, it is going to bring about a change. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. He sent an email that if I'm complete in myself, there is no reason for a joy and the sorrow, likes and dislikes in the world. If I have it, if I blame and complain, even if I claim, even if I complain I don't have it, I have not understood, I have not realized. The same guy told me that I had run into the financial problems. I said, you have 5 houses. Come on. What the heck you're talking to me? Whether I have it or I don't have it. Have and have nots has a journey which I talk today. Think of it. If you don't agree, tell me. सर्वेषां मङ्गलं भवतु. सर्वेषां मङ्गलं भवतु. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Let there be auspiciousness for all. You already know it. We have covered in many sessions. Now look inside. Look inside the forehead. Look inside the forehead in the space and start saying Shantoham. Pick up the Shantoham. So now with the knowledge, Shantoham means I am the peace, and start breathing into the chest, total expansion and contraction and squeezing of the rib cage, only for 3 minutes. Yes, Ashok, you have to do it very slowly if you want to do it. I'm okay with it. Very slow, not very fast, extremely slow, as if you are breathing normal, because your larynx are affected. So gradually we will move. I know you have that intensity, but we will go slowly for you. Rest. They have to do it with a noisy breath. Very good. Good. Continue. Continue, Ashok. Keep on. Continue. Quick and short breath expansion and contraction of the rib cage. Shantuham, gently dropping in the space inside the forehead. The body remain in the state of sensation, comfort, and steadiness, my friends. And stop this. What is the next step? It is not a step. Just recognize, accept the changes as they come and they go. You are not attached to any of these experiences. Why? You are not your experiences. They are always different. They are part of the world. Oh, so I don't need to give a reality status to these experiences also? Yes, we will talk and discuss, but we don't give. Why? We want to know the real self. Start breathing, long breath into the belly. You inhale, the belly expands. You exhale, the belly squeezes. Continue doing the Shantoham. Mm, 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 mm. Continue. Mm, 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 mm. Any obstacle, any resistance by the mind is caused by Check it. Likes and dislikes or joy and sorrow. You will find out. You can test, you are the testimony to it. Any resistance, reaction to your breathing practice is caused by, find out, caused by sorrow and the joy, likes and the dislikes. Why you dislike and like, you know it. If you're not doing with this self inquiry, you will miss the point. You will go back to the very first lesson. Ashok has to do very calmer breath until we recover our larynx and the throat region. Otherwise, everyone has to do the same way as now. Stop this. What I said, sorrow, recognize, accept. What is this recognition, accept? Cognitive ability. Modern psychology says CBT. I don't want to use that, otherwise people will sue me. So, so it's a cognitive ability. I cognize, but at the same time, I recognize any resistance, reaction to this breathing has to do with this sorrow, joy, likes, and dislikes. You have to contemplate and reflect and prove to yourself. Now, our Shantoham continues and start breathing both from the belly and the rib cage together. Longer the breath, the better it is. One single breath inhalation, one single breath exhalation. Ashok, you have to do very deep, silent, and slow, even not very deep based on your level. You do not do it faster, please. Don't get excited. Long, deep excitement has no place in the journey of this self discovery. Resistance, reaction to the breathing caused by the mind that hides. What it hides? The concept and the idea and the notion of the sorrow and the joy and the likes and dislikes. I don't like it. I'm not doing it. We normally say. We keep on repeating it all the time. We never inquire. What is this like and dislike? Continue. Then stop it, do nothing, allow the breath to go to its normal breathing pattern. Normal breathing pattern means automation, natural, and then look inside the cave of your heart. Triangle pointing upward, equilateral, pointed awareness. First point, looking at the side of a triangle, moving the mind on that side from one corner to the other and dropping Shantoham. You see, it takes long time to explain, but it takes even a few milliseconds to say Shantoham, one side, second side, third. You do it with awareness and attention, attitude, if I use the word attitude of the mind. Negative attitude says, what the heck? But the positive attitude, it is rewarding because you are sinking. Sinking means what? The mind moves deeper within. What that means, you rise in awareness. And the moment it is sinking, you singing mentally, Shantu, push the mind deep inside through the center of a triangle inside the cave of your heart. And you experience, again, cognition, mind seemingly stops, and there you say, Aham, Shantu. Aham means I am, Shantu means peace. Shantu Ham. And there is a self absorption. And now, Om Shantu Ham, all the 16 points of the fingers. It is the mind's eye, ear, tongue, and the skin. And there is a instant awareness, rise in sensation on those points of the fingers. Is it not a miracle that you are not using the sense organ and the mind is able to create that energy sensation? Shantuham, Shantuham. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your awareness on the right hand, your awareness on the left hand. Lift your both the palms, place it on your eyes. Open the eyes inside the palms. Know your experiences. Bring the hands down. Yes, how are you, David and Jerry?
Thank you. Very deep. In fact, it was, I was just extremely deep in that meditation. It was very, very good. So just lots of bright light and just a wonderful experience. That's all I can say.
Beautiful. You see, when the knowledge is settled, this is another knowledge, joy and sorrow, reality, status that I explain in likes. And when the knowledge is settled, you are instantly aware. The mind moves to deeper with. That is what happens. Beautiful. How are you, Jerry?
Sir, I'm good. Thank you. The meditation was deep. My mind kind of liked the attitude and kind of sat with that attitude, because it's when the ignorance comes up and we're blaming or complaining about something we might experience, and we've projected our happiness or our sorrow on that. It's just checking that attitude and kind of remembering that that's not really the way it is. We have to check ourselves.
Check ourselves every time. Beautiful. You see, I have used the word from the Gita, attitude. Attitude takes me down. Oh no, I have nothing in my life. This is one attitude. I have everything in my life because I am the real self. It changes the entire perspective of life. You rightly said. Very good. Wonderful. How are you, Stephen?
I'm good, thank you. Today's meditation was extremely deep for me. I remember when you said close your eyes. I saw a golden triangle form around the outer part of my body, and then it just started to draw itself inside to my heart. and that was it. I was done. There was no thoughts. There was no anything. The only thing after that I noticed is that again, when you started chanting Om Shanti, we were at the end of the finishing the japa, and I could feel the pulsations on my fingertips.
Hmm.
Not on the 16 points, but at the fingertips, and I actually had my hands like this
Yeah.
during the meditation, and I felt the pulsation going into from my right hand that I was focused in on going into my left hand. So it was.
Very good.
I'm glad I saw it at the very end because I might have been focused too much on it during
Yeah.
meditation, but it happened at the end of it. So it was great. Thank you.
Yeah, the golden triangle points out the total self-absorption and knowledge. When the knowledge is settled, then the practice is so easy. Beautiful. How are you, Ashok? I think you have written something that your son wants. Yeah, Are Akanksha, my little daughter. Yes, namaste. क्या लिखा इसने?
अभी तो कुछ नहीं लिख रहे थे, कुछ पूछ रहे थे ध्यान कैसा है, like thoughts are puzzled right now. You want to write something? He's asking how are you?
Calm, relaxed,
He's saying
calm and relaxed, Ashok. Yes, yes, that's wonderful. That is what we want. एक भी सेशन नहीं छोड़ना तो जल्दी रिकवरी होगी आकांक्षा.
yes.
Very good.
But during day he listens your
Oh,
meditation.
during the day he practices. They are very good. That too is good. At this age when he had, can you imagine that he had totally 72 hours of recovery because the doctor said we don't know. Brain hemorrhage, but everything went successfully. It is my second example in the last 1 year that the guy who commits, that commitment comes from inside. That is being a seeker, that come what may, and we get disturbed with the very small issues and the challenges in our life. Anyhow, Brandy, I will go to Brandy.
Morning. Namaste. Thank you. I kept my focus during the meditation today on the Shanto hum, and I just stayed with that the whole time. So there was not much of anything else, intrusion or, just Shanto hum.
Shantoham. That's beautiful. Even when the Shantoham continues, so the mind is absorbed with the meaning and the knowledge of the Shantoham, then I'm the peace. That also creates a sense of self-absorption. Now, I tell you a funny thing. Don't start using it habitually. So I was telling you the story of this guy. He returned to me. First 3 years here, I was going to his house. He just, met me like a friend. He hugged and everything was okay. It was, some kind of a pride was there, and he learned. He learned, and then he forgot it. But now, when he returned, first thing that he does, Namaste. But his saying of Namaste is full of humility. So I smile inside, I don't say that, I compare the two. So it shows you the tremendous amount of the change. And we have another meaning of the Namaste that we will talk in the future sessions. How are you, Sam?
I'm good. Felt a lot of energy in my body after the breathing exercises, and then during the japa, felt it all go into my hands, and became a little numb towards the end, but it was great.
Yeah, NEM, obviously, it is a withdrawal of the mind. Never leave the practice. And today's session is very important for everyone, and especially to you. You have to listen to it and you have to analyze and contemplate and reflect on it. Beautiful. How are you, Anastasia?
Thank you. I'm good. I've been doing this roller coaster journey recently with the free coupon. Unfortunately, I'm so sorry about this. Um, yes, but my meditation was, and during meditation, these thoughts, they were like, knock, knock, we are there again. And the second thought came into my mind, like, isn't it enough? You have been there, you have done this all day yesterday, maybe enough. And then it was just darkness, emptiness, and meditation was very quick. It seemed to start and finish just in a second.
You rightly said, I'm combining your expression with a word attitude that Jerry said. It's all thoughts are coming, and your attitude of the mind says, "Oh, is it not enough?" And it goes up. That is the level of cognitive ability we should have to succeed in the higher state of meditation. Everyone is doing good. So we are left with Christina and Weber. So let us take Christina. How are you?
Good morning. Thank you. Something profound landed during the talk today, which was the bondage of, when you use the word bondage of the mind and likes and dislikes. And so during the meditation, it was almost as if I felt a treatment was being applied, and like as if I've been living life in the completely wrong way, and almost like, some shift.
Yeah. I can understand what you're saying. So when we are learning and the knowledge is applied, the mind awakens, gets rid of the ignorance. And I can understand, you might have remembered the past. Oh, what I have done. It is so clear. It is so, it's okay. It's a part of the journey. Very good. That's wonderful. How are you, Vaibhav?
Thank you, sir. Sir, I'm good. Calm, absorbed, relaxed.
That's wonderful. That's Ashok, need not to worry. We all are praying for you. We all are praying for you. That is wonderful. Thank you, my friends. We will meet again.
Thank you, sir.
Namaste.
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 Mhm.